This episode of Truth Table is brought to you by our NAACP Image Award nominated book, Truth Table, Black Women's Musings on Life, Love, and Liberation. Get it where all books are sold.
Sisters, how y'all feel? Brothers, y'all all right? If this is your first time at Truth Table, welcome to the table. And if you've been sitting at the table with us all these years, we are so grateful that you have been listening to us through these years, and we are inviting you to partner with us and support our work at patreon.com/truthstable. Now pull up a chair and have a seat at the table with us. Hey y'all, welcome to Truth Table, Midwives of Culture for Grace and Truth. I'm Ekemini.
And I'm Christina.
This table is built by Black women and for Black women. So welcome to the table, C. How you doing, girl?
I'm doing pretty good. I think I'm trying to ask myself that question sincerely. How are you doing?
Good. I'm excited about what we're about to talk about.
Hello.
Hey. So the topic on the table, y'all, is, well, it's a movie. It's the title is fluid. Okay. So while we are talking
pre-studio problems, this is pre-production
exactly,
problems.
And then it comes back. We go, let's title it this. But anyway, right now our working title. Let me say our working title and topic on the table is R&B dead, evolving, or is it still alive, but just looking a little different?
Come on, rhythm and blues. Is that what you're referring to?
Rhythm and blues. The conversation has changed quite a bit. There's always been that, and I think this often comes up even with hip hop. Is hip hop dead? I'm saying yes. But R&B, is it dead? And or there were different. It is dead. There's nothing out there. The groups aren't there. The groups aren't grouping the way they used to. And
the groups,
all these things. But then there's kind of there's this a little bit of resurgent. There's
the. How much does this have to do with like what generation you now find yourself in?
Exactly. I'm like,
because every generation thinks that as they get older, they think that the music coming after them
is not so
is
great.
Counterfeit.
But so let's think about it this way. Let's talk about our own I guess what R&B has meant to us in our own lives. Our own consumption of it. Sure. From our, from childhood on and whatnot. Because I do think it's true that every generation kind of subsequently goes, y'all don't know nothing about no music. Y'all don't know nothing about this.
I had to walk 10 miles to school. Yeah, for everybody.
Right. I think there is that. But if I think back to my parents' generation, they could actually appreciate the people the new artists that came up in Gen X, like Erykah Badu. They could appreciate a Jill Scott. I knew when my dad liked the song is when he goes, "Who is this?"
Right.
That's how I knew when my dad liked the song. I was like, "Oh, my dad had impeccable music, music taste." So I feel like they could appreciate some of the things that were coming out. But I think there might be a marked shift too. So let's get into it.
Sure.
Now, your dad, I know, he's a music connoisseur. A big music connoisseur. I mean, I remember visiting your parents.
Yeah.
And he was showing me his cave, with all the music.
His catalog.
And we're having a conversation with your mama. And your dad insists on playing the jobs.
Records.
And your mom is like, CDs. We're having a conversation. It was a time.
Yeah. He's like, and you're going to hear this music in the background.
You're going to hear this music with my amazing sound system.
I know.
Surrounds.
Let the sound surround you. There it is.
Let the rhythm take you. You let it take control. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That was a moment. That is
really
a moment.
excited.
So talk about
perfect description of him.
That was my little sampling of your dad and music. But how was it for you growing up?
My dad is very committed to the funky licks. He loves music, and a lot of my happiest moments as a child have music within it.
Yes.
Like they're fair, like our road trips had music in them. Mm-hmm. And his top two picks for road trips were usually James Brown and The Temptations were his top two picks for road trips. I mean, obviously there were all kinds of other things he played as well, but I feel well acquainted with James Brown. Catalog.
Yes, that's so funny.
And it's so funny because I think maybe about a year or so ago, I can't remember when it was. He picked me up from the airport. I flew into Baltimore to visit. I was there for work or whatever, to hang out with my parents. Yeah. And when I got in the car, he was playing Ball of Confusion.
Oh, yeah, that's a jam.
And I was like,
deep cut right there.
I was like, and it is.
That's what the world is today.
It is confusion out here.
Yeah.
But anyway, and I would say when you go, he has there's a large art piece that is a charcoal sketch of John Coltrane and Miles Davis are down in the basement.
It's down there in the yeah, okay. Yeah, there's a lot of art down there. Yeah. Okay.
And there is I can't think of the name of the group. I'm sorry, Dad. But there is a wall size piece of artwork that is a painted interpretation of the cover of an album that he loved. I don't know if it was, I'm drawing a blank on it. I think it was more of a niche group, but it was someone in the vibe of the 70s era. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's wall art. It's like the size of that part, the wall that he has placed up. And it has moved with us through my childhood because he had it when I was very small and they still have this piece of art. And I was like, is that a dragon? I don't really know. In retro, I didn't get a picture of it. I don't know what it is now that I'm thinking about it, but I got so used to it. I was like, oh, okay, that thing. I was like, is that a demon on the wall? Anyway, so he's got all kinds of things, but a deep, deep love for Motown era R&B and soul. And I would say, and jazz music. He has an appreciation for jazz just broadly, the different genres within jazz music. But because of that, I was exposed to all kinds of instrumentalists and vocalists.
Yeah.
People that can really sing.
Oh, yes.
People who are very gifted.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, and I would say the other music that I think is also like the soundtrack of my life is certainly Black gospel music. I love Black gospel music. I'm very partial to it. Don't get me started. You're not supposed to, as somebody who has done cultural intelligence work, I'm like, you're not supposed to be like, this is better. You will get a this better. This is better for me.
Objectively true.
Yes, I'm a big fan of all that Black gospel music in its last 100 years. So post spirituals.
You love spiritual. You do love
I have
spirituals.
a deep respect for spirituals.
Yes.
But
your Fisk Jubilee singers.
Listen, I don't play about a good HBCU choir that can sing spirituals, and I've heard quite a few.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say in the last 100 years of what Black gospel music has turned into, that's like the story of like my experience, and so both of those go together. Sure. And then obviously through my teenage years, I still am in love with 90s R&B. Now I recognize people tend to love the music that reflects when they came of age.
Adolescence. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it can stop right there. But I think that was a very unique musical era.
It was.
Okay. And I think that was the last heyday of the soulful boy bands.
Mm-hmm.
And girl bands, that's like you can get like in Vogue. I don't think we've had another In Vogue ever.
Destiny Child wasn't even on par.
No. That's just
different.
It's a different genre. It's a different genre. Mm-hmm. And then, but also like your Jodeci's, like that hybrid sound. Then you have like the New Jack Swing that was going on in the 90s too.
New Jack Swing was
coming at you. It's a good time. So, and I do like hip hop. I do like hip hop and rap, some elements of hip hop and rap. But I realized like Mike and I were traveling, my husband and I were traveling, and he's more of a hip hop person than I am.
Yes. Uh-huh.
But his favorite hip hop genre, he will say, is the jazz-informed hip-hop.
Mm-hmm. A Tribe Called Quest.
Yes.
Yeah. TCQ.
So he's like, it's levels to this. So he has an expectation.
And 90s had that fusion of that.
Yes.
The golden era. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he feels like ever since jazz broke up with hip-hop,
we've had a problem.
He's like, things have fallen apart. So yeah. Anyways, that's a little bit about like my little musical story. But I've got other things about like college and things like that too. But how about you? What's your musical story? And I know you grew up in a home of house parties. So like
Yeah.
Like you got to love music to have a house party. Mm-hmm.
House party every weekend. My dad was good for that. My mom is not a big music person the way that my dad was. So I definitely got that from my dad.
Yeah.
I am that person that can name that too. I will hear something.
Listen, let's go.
That's Michael McDonald. You know, I'm like, hey, like I could catch it. You know, I can catch the tune. Right. And I'm the one that can kind of catch samples and songs. I'm like, that is, you know,
that's awesome.
Wind and Fires, you know.
We got to put you on a game show so this skill can, get you some money.
Come on, holla at your girl. Yes, I grew up in a house with a father who threw house parties all the time.
Please bring back the house parties.
Yes, people don't dance no more. All they do is All they do is
Listen.
Goody Mob was right about that.
Yeah.
They were before their time with that one because people actually were still dancing back then.
I know. And shortly after they stopped. Yeah. Unless it's for TikTok. Yeah.
Exactly. So my foray into like R&B and all of those is definitely my dad had and has still extensive record collection. I think I told you like last Christmas break, me and my sister were kind of, helping organize things. And we were like, oh my goodness, my dad has hundreds of records from Isaac Hayes, Miles Davis, Stylistics, you name it. He's got Temptations, of course.
Sure.
To Shy, everything.
Yes.
Everything. Average White Band.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah.
And so that is just
even Average White Band falls under black music.
Hey, these are the, Tina Marie. Okay?
It falls under black music.
Yes,
Carry on.
Absolutely. And so Prince. So of course Michael Jackson, all of the greats, right? In there. And so I just remember, I just grew up to all of that. I remember cassette tapes with Tume on there and Rick James, and we listened to so much.
Come on, cassette tapes.
And that's the stuff that would just be playing even on our way to church. Back from church, we didn't. Because my parents grew up Lutheran, they didn't have access. Let me say their tradition didn't access gospel music at that time. They had hymns. Of course, there was some overlap there. But it wasn't until I came to faith, and I in the black church that I came into black gospel music in the 90s, and I love black gospel. I still live there.
Yeah.
And I still live there. I'm not a CCM girl. I'm not shooting. It's just never been my jam. And I never really connected with it, unless black folks take it and remix it and put some oil on it. You know how we do. And so that's the only way I can really consume it personally.
You already know where I am.
That's the only way I can consume it. And so, but yeah, I just love R&B. And then of course, coming of age, right? In the 90s, you named the groups. I'm surprised you didn't name Jade. Don't Walk Away. That's your, that's your Jade.
Don't Walk Away. Yeah, I love a good girls group.
Jeanne, Sade. Yeah. And then later on came Jill Scott, at least for me. Then Erykah Badu, love, Mary J. Blige. The list goes on and on. Yeah. And I do believe that there was something special. I do feel like something has shifted and changed. I don't think it's just me being a older millennial and get off my lawn. Y'all don't do it as good as we do.
You geriatric lineal.
Exactly. I don't think it's just that. I think there's been some change. I think there's, of course, Stevie Wonder's. How could I not? I mean, Stevie Wonder's all up in my dad's catalog, and it's crazy because the other day, as I was preparing to come here, actually, Stevie Wonder's As was just running through in my mind, in my spirit. And I was just thinking about I came off the heels of my cousin's wedding too, So feeling all the lovey vibes, and all that beautiful black love. And I was just thinking about just how beautiful that song is and how deeply theological that song is. And I'm so glad
the eternality of love. Sure.
Exactly. The depths of love, the eternal nature of love, which I'm going to unpack some of those lyrics right now, but I'm just so grateful that Stevie's still with us and still blessing us, with music and wisdom and insight on just all the things.
Stevie, please.
Because we know love is in need of love today. And I think that is what's missing from a lot of the R&B that we hear
Sure.
Even now, I know for me, and I just have a hard time connecting with some of the newer R&B artists. There are some that I absolutely love, like Alex Isley,
Sure.
who was a descendant, related to the Isley, brothers. I can't remember which dad is her dad, but anyway, Alex Isley.
She's got musical roots.
Yes, it's a beautiful voice. Xavier Omar, who we've had on Truth's Table a couple seasons ago, or maybe a little more than a couple of seasons ago now.
Years ago.
There's a group called Moonchild, whom I love, their album Voyager, and so many other.
Yeah.
There are some that I'm like, yes, and I know Daniel Caesar's a controversial figure because of his, anyway, but his music is beautiful. This is his own internalized stuff, about Black women, but yeah, I know it's a lot, but his music is beautiful. I was like, okay, so there's some, I'm not the elder millennial that won't try. So there's some artists that I really do. I'm like, yes, I check for them. I'm excited for when their music comes out. But on the whole, there used to be a time where R&B was I think there was always raunchy R&B. So I'm not acting like that wasn't a thing. But there was. For sure. Yeah, let's put that on the table. But it was animated. A lot of it was still animated by love, and understanding the depths of love and ballads and what that means to see someone, as your equal, your counterpart, your the mutuality within a relationship and just the depths of the love and what you would do for that love, the sacrifice that,
and even if it didn't work out, there was a sincere reckoning with the emotions that brings up. So I don't know. I think it's the
barge and they go into all of that, so I was just thinking about, Az had been running and playing. So it's a song that I've been playing kind of on repeat, and I'm a repeater, so I'm good. I'm like, again.
You got to get it into you. You got to get there. You got to get there. I agree.
100th play.
Listen, I know. Just keep it on the loop.
But I just thought it would be good for us, just talk about R&B and the ways in which we see God's just creative hand at work in real beautiful music that we would think would be divorced. For the people that hold to a really hard line on the divide between the sacred and secular.
Sure.
I'm not really that type of person because you could see God's fingerprints in some things, and some things are very much secular. So I'm not acting like that's not a real thing. But I think it's beautiful when we can see the way the Lord has gifted people. Yeah. Even people that may not even be believers, right? Some of the people we name are, some are not, I'm sure. But seeing the image of God and the manifestation of that manifest in their music, like that imprint of God's imprint on people and their giftings, I think is so, I don't know, so beautiful. It can move me to tears.
The Creator God making us creative as one of those shared attributes.
Yes,
we don't create from scratch as God does, but we create from what God has created, right? Which is such a gift that the Lord would allow you to make do with what has been created. Yes. As I was thinking, as you were talking, that thought came to my mind of how kind it is. Like throughout my childhood, these moments when my mother or my grandmother or someone would give me something to now play with, to now redream, to rework, to cut up, to reinterpret.
Do whatever you want with it.
And that is, in some ways, I feel like that is what humanity is offered from God, what God has created, which is already beautiful, like the trees and the nature and
the birds,
and the elements, all these things.
Flowers.
And then it's extended to us so that we now can manipulate with it and hopefully do good in what we then turn it into. So that's the kind of the responsibility and obligation we have with God's creation. Since we don't create from scratch, we bear a responsibility to take what God has created and to steward it well and say, look what I made. My mom, like, look what I made out of your old jewelry. Look how I repurposed it. Look how I did this to it.
Look at the garden, the flowers from the garden that I cut and arranged so beautifully.
And let them dry. And now they're potpourri, right? But the source, the original design, we give God glory for being the true creator, the original of all designer. Things.
Yeah.
Well, this is what I would love to do in our second half. I want to talk about why did God give us music in general. But before we go to that break, do you want to talk a little bit about Stevie Wonder's As?
Well, let's talk about As when we come back, because there's some things that you lifted up that actually, it's funny, that are actually in the lyrics of As. So let's dive into As, Stevie Wonder's As, when we come back. So don't go nowhere, y'all. Keep it locked.
Our NAACP Image Award nominated book, Truth Table, Black Women's Musings on Life, Love, and Liberation, is making waves and shifting culture. I closed this book feeling like I had just partaken in a multi-course meal, filled with grace and the courage to carry on. And I believe you'll finish this book feeling the same way. Morgan Harper Nichols, artist and poet. Buy Truth Table, Black Women's Musings on Life, Love, and Liberation at our website or wherever books are sold. As you can see, we're not good for asking for money, but we are asking for money today, and here's why. In order for us to bring the content that we've been bringing to you for years at this point,
8 years,
we've got a whole background of folks who are talented and gifted and loving people who we have to pay to make these things happen, as well as ourselves. And we want to keep bringing great content to you. We are in a desert of truth right now. There seems to be lots of lies happening.
Lots of lies.
And so if you support the idea of promoting truth in any way, shape, or form, we invite you to partner with Truth Table and become one of our Patreon supporters.
Yes, actually, when you become a supporter, you actually get the episodes a couple days before the rest of the world.
You get truth early.
Yes, you get to speak to, of course, communicate with us. Let us know your thoughts about the episode. And of course, we will be having some more private discussions about things going on in pop culture, in politics, all the things.
Nothing.
2025 is very normal. I don't know.
Nothing.
Whatever.
Nothing.
Figment of my imagination.
Nothing to see here.
We'll be talking about the things. So anyway, join our community today, and thank you for sitting at the table with us all these years.
Bye, y'all.
We are back at the table talking about all things R&B. How about that? And music and God and all the things in the way the Truth Table does. So right before the break, we were talking about Getting Into As by Stevie Wonder. I have a lot of Stevie Wonder songs that I love, but this is my number one.
Why do you think Stevie Wonder is such a big deal? Like as a signature artist that is like, like that other artists float around, basically.
As inspiration. He's just deeply gifted. A true musical genius, musical savant, and have been at this since a child. I've seen this since a young boy.
He makes music.
Yeah. He makes music. Almost like his own. I don't even. In some ways, it's just Stevie deserves his own category. I don't know. It's like
I know that sounds like R&B. Super simplistic when I say he makes music, but he doesn't just play music. It doesn't just perform music. There's there's a creative,
there's a musicality, instrumentality that he does.
Yeah.
Songs in the key of life. He makes songs in the key of life. He does.
And he was like, and I want to name it that. I mean, it's just very.
That's what he does.
The artistry is it's really hard. You can see his music.
It's very transcendent. You can see it. I had the otherworldly. I had the honor and the gift of seeing him in concert. He had a tour, a songs in the Key of Life tour, and I went at a stop in Philly. My friend Christy, shout out to Christy, that got us tickets that were floor seats too.
Oh, okay.
It was just a beautiful experience. I don't, was it 2012, 2013? I can't remember, but it was somewhere around there. And it was just a beautiful experience. It just was like, I think he's one of, and not the only, but he's one of the artists where it's clearly like, God's hand is just, like he just gifted you to do this. Yeah. You're in your purpose.
Yeah. I mean, there are people who I have seen live that are...
Yes, because you're a concert connoisseur.
I go to concerts.
Yes.
Theater, live entertainment in general. Yes. But there are people who I've seen, I think in my mind, like the highest compliment is if I'm like, they give me Stevie vibes.
Okay.
Like to me, like if I see someone
anybody that jumps out right now?
I think PJ Morton live is I think he truly creates music that you can see. I think and I mean he's obviously deeply skilled, but he also has that a real legitimate church undergirding.
Oh, for sure.
So the soulful elements are just there.
And I think that's for Stevie as well.
Yeah.
Stevie being a believer.
You can tell he's deeply informed. Deeply informed and inspired by Stevie Wonder. Like you can hear, but not like in a mocking way. Like I'm going to be a ripoff of this person. But it's but I would say, when I'm hearing certain people, their kind of musicality is like, it's not that it's the same or even the same level of skill or giftedness per se, but it's like this is in the lineage of that style of what's happening. It's more than just like a style, but in the spirit of that particular that music, of Stevie's music. So I and again, I love live music and musicianship.
You do, yeah.
I just deeply value, which why I dig living in parts of the country where there's a lot of respect for musicianship and for musical artistry. So Nashville's like that, New York's like that, there are parts of, LA.
Sure.
But I think of Nashville as a melting pot of that in terms of musical genre and skill and ability. How many
musicians live here?
I know. So, if you go out to eat.
In LA too.
Yeah, you're going to be a musician. So I really respect people. And that's not what I do at all. Mm-hmm. But I think music and art, there's something about it that even if that's not your thing, it can pull from you a deep respect and regard. Precisely because it's not your thing, maybe, but yet it provides so much to you in your life, and I feel that way when I think of musicians and vocalists, what they provide to us. Yeah, it's such what they do is actually a gift to us.
Yes, I think I think about music and the gift of music as just this beautiful audiovisual garden that God has given to us. It's another way to access beauty. Yep, it's another vehicle for us to how can I say. Embrace, live into our emotions that maybe it's hard for us to articulate.
Yeah, we have to have music.
Yeah, you got to have music.
The vibration of it, we have to have it. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And it's something, it takes you somewhere, it causes you to explore if the song is written well, of course, the melody, it can take you,
if it's a jam.
It can really take you into a place of deep, self-exploration, self-examination, honor, praise, and worship to God. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be praise and worship music. Believe that. That's amazing if that, when that happens, but it doesn't actually have to be that. And I think that's what I was just like thinking so much about as the other day when I was getting ready at 2 a.m. to get here. But okay. And I was just playing as on repeat and just how beautiful it was. Mm-hmm. It is, I'm sorry. And I was thinking so much about, I think, my own, the gift of my parents' love. Yeah. And the beauty of Black love.
For sure.
And I just like, wow, like, what does it mean? Like, I can see my mom's love for my dad even now. Yes. The eternality of love. Yes. And I was like, man, this song is so, I've always loved it.
Love does not die.
Love doesn't die, even when our loved ones die, and that love will still remain when we see them in the eschaton, right? Mm-hmm. And so, or in glory, or, however you want to phrase it. But I was thinking about that, I said, my God, it's just beautiful. Yeah. When I think about just the lyrics and that song is so theologically deep.
Yeah.
Deep.
I don't think there's any real, I think that's because there's no real deep, there's no true conversation about what love actually is.
That's right.
Because God is the source of love.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. God is
exactly the source and very being and source, right? Mm-hmm, so it's what is produced, given, and is the substance of what is. And yet we don't have a real picture of love, any forms of it, unless unless it links us back to its true source, to where the fount of love. And
exactly.
So I think that's why I feel so deeply theological, because the truer it is about what love is, it necessarily has to be.
And you can see, and you can feel when you get a taste of that, and you've sensed God's love, and you see the manifestation of that love in a lot of different ways in your own parents' life, in your own family life, in your own life, maybe. The void. You feel the void. Yeah. You feel the lovelessness, which of course Stevie has a song called Love is in Need of Love Today. Hello.
And it is.
He says all the things.
It still is.
And it is. But I think about it, I was like, my God, so you feel that. And I think for me as one who, and I'm not saying that married people, some of their marriages ain't so great and ain't filled with that love. So I'm not trying to there are all kinds of marriages.
For sure. But you mean like in terms of the ideal, what it ought to be.
The ideal of what it ought to be. And I think that's what's hard, I think, even being in this this generation, or trying to find love in this generation is so difficult because when you've seen it, when you've seen it up close, I'm like, I know what it's supposed to feel like. I know what it's supposed to look like. My parents weren't perfect, but I know exactly what it's supposed to feel like. I know what it's supposed to look like. It's hard. It's hard. When people are, don't come into the pool with that mindset. Where it's much more transactional. What can you do? What's in it for me? I'm like, oh my gosh, that is just a repellent for me.
There's such a lack of honor and dignifying of the other person.
Yes.
And which is the opposite of what love is.
The opposite. So let me pull up some of that. The lyrics. Guys. And let's hope I don't cry again. Let's see. I might. It's a beautiful song. So we ain't playing it because we ain't got the rights. We don't want Brother Stevie to sue us. But we love you,
He
Stevie.
will just be practicing because we ain't got Stevie Mondays.
Stevie. Okay, so this is I'm going to throw around some of the different lyrics. And of course, going to get into the chorus. So it starts with, as around the sun, the earth knows she's revolving, and the rosebuds know to bloom in early May. Just as hate knows love's the cure, you can rest your mind assured that I'll be loving you always.
Yeah, it's foundational truth.
Foundational truth, right? Yeah. Creational order. Yeah. That there will be seed time and harvest, right? Yeah. The rosebuds know to bloom in early May, like that. Yeah. As long as we've been living, that's been happening.
And we do need some things to just be.
We do. In times of chaos, right? Amen. Especially in times of chaos. As around the sun, the earth knows she's revolving. Right? It's just like these things are constant. No matter what is happening, we know that the sun will rise again. We know that there's going to be seed time and harvest, right? So I love that. It's told the times and seasons. That's like Ecclesiastes. Anyway, that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing echoes. Of some Ecclesiastes. We're hearing Genesis. I'm hearing some Genesis. In there, and that I will be loving you always, right? 1 Corinthians 13. Love never dies. There's faith, hope, and love, but love is the greatest, of these.
Well, God's love being tied to God's creational vocation that God has as the creator, but also God's very identity. So just as sure as God is, the eternality of God's love will be. And and obviously this is someone made in the image of God, speaking to the love of a person. But tying it in those things, cementing into that. And the love that we have for other people, if you think about romantic love in this example, that love for it to persist has got to be rooted in something even beyond that person. That's the real issue. Why we have the problems that we got going on. It's because the love that we give to the other person, the love that the spouse gives to the other spouse is not, it is targeted to that person, but it's not fully rooted and even determined by that person.
Comes from God.
Because people change, but the love needs to have a through line towards them.
No matter what, right? No matter what. And remain unshakable. Really, right?
And only God meets the standard, but yes.
Oh, exactly. And then we know that, we know, maybe not everybody does, but you'll play it. But the chorus, that I'll be loving you always until the ocean covers every mountain high. Because we do know that day's going to come one day, right? Okay. Always, right? Until the dolphin flies and parrots live at sea. Wow. Always, right? Until we dream of life and life becomes a dream. Oh my goodness. And then it says, did you know that true love asks for nothing? Her acceptance is the way we pay. Oh, I love it. We accept it, right? Did you know that life has given love a guarantee to last through forever and another day? Because
true poet.
The eternality of love, right? And then he goes on to talk about time. But there was something here there's one other lyric that first of all, I love the science in it. I love all of that. Like until every ocean covers every mountain high, until the dolphin flies, And
it's either until the impossible becomes possible or until the true consummation until all the world. Yeah, that is what it speaks to.
That's right. True consummation, you know, when Christ returns and and we get a new earth and a new heaven and all of that. Because y'all know that's coming. It's going to happen, y'all. Let's see. There's another part that there's so much in here, so much. But here we go. Until the trees and seas jump up. I mean, there's so many examples. He was like, let me name all of the impossibilities and possibilities that are far off, you know, that show the stability of my love, the eternal anchoring of that love, right? Which is really flowing from God. So until the trees and the seas jump up and fly away. Right? Until the day that 8 times 8 is 4. Mathematics.
Yeah, he's basically, in that sense, it's like these things are impossibilities.
Right. It's not going to happen. That's never going to equal 4. Right? You ain't got to be a mathematician to know that. Until the day that is the day, I think he says that I'm no more or are no more. Sometimes the lyrics, you know, but anyway, like I'm loving you till I die, right? Until the day the earth starts turning right to left. My goodness. Until the earth, just for the sun, denies itself. When is that going to happen?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, and I'll be loving you forever, you know? Until dear Mother Nature says her work is through. Until the day that you are me. And I am you. That's one of my favorite lines in there. Until the rainbow burns the stars out of the sky, out in the sky. Yeah. Until the ocean.
It's the melting of identity.
Yep.
Even from a theological sense, in some ways it can be a nod to the full consummate glorification as we stand before Jesus and we are like him and we are as him.
Yes.
So I think
there's so many ways.
There's something really profound about oneness, losing self into something that's greater and becoming something else. I mean, I think the artistry, the poetry, and obviously as you're saying these lyrics, we know that, you know, Stevie is singing his face off, but there's an instrumental crescendo that's happening that pulls you in this song, and like the way that the rhythm just kind of pulls you along
the background. Yep. I mean, there's just so much going on.
So many layers. so many layers. But I think it's a snapshot of what music is for. You know, music at it. I mean, obviously, no pressure for our musicians who are watching. We don't expect everyone to meet this standard of this song, but that is what it allows us to do in our human experience, is to be for the creative work to take our hand.
Oh goodness, and take us to a place.
Yeah, like we cannot stay here. I mean, in so many ways, that's what the Psalms do. That's what the spiritual songs and hymns that the early church came in. Like they came to this new identity in Christ, and they came into the new church. They came in giving songs that had just been created and birthed in them.
Yeah, this is what Song of Song does.
Yeah, as long as there is the church in the world, there ought to be new songs that are birthed in people to be sung.
Yeah, we got to learn to sing new songs in a strange land.
Well, that
we have to learn
for sure.
But I think because music heals. I really believe art will heal us. You know, that is part of, I think, a healing mechanism that God has given us.
It'll remind us that we're humans too.
Absolutely.
This is our thing.
You know, I think it's one of the ways that we can permeate, you know, love, and we can begin to disciple people into love. Actually, music, how many of us know that music does disciple us? We're shaped by what we listen to.
100%.
You know, or misshaped. You know, shaped or misshaped, for the good or the bad of that. So it matters what we ingest, what we listen to. You know, what we take in. You know, I think one of the other deeply theological parts of this song the whole thing is theologically dense and rich, but I think I love it that it's so accessible too, right? I mean, he spans generations. I mean, the babies left Stevie up to the silent generation. I mean, seriously, I mean, everybody.
Yeah. Well, this is similar to Earth, Wind, and Fire. It's a very similar, likewise, I went to see them maybe about a year or so ago. Right. And that may have been one of the most diverse concerts I've ever been to. Cross generation, culture, race, background. I mean,
I've not seen Earth.
Everybody.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They span generations, you know. And so there's one part that's just like so beautiful. He says this. This is the last last verses actually before the chorus goes on and on. We all know sometimes. This is when he's like, we all know. There's sometimes life, you know, that when he starts, you're kind of, I don't know how you want to.
Vamping.
Yeah. We all know sometimes life hates and troubles. Don't we?
Really?
Can I get a witness?
If you don't know, keep living.
You're about to know. It can make you wish you were born in another time and space. Well,
Jeepers.
But you can bet your lifetimes that, and twice it's double, that God knew exactly where he wanted you to be placed.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. So make sure when you say you're in it, but not of it. Okay. That's, being in the world and not of it. Right.
This is like on the nose.
I was on the nose.
Yeah.
You're not helping to make this earth a place sometimes called hell.
Wow.
Oh, you mean be a neighbor?
Right.
You mean love your neighbor as yourself? You mean love them, care for them, and you're loving yourself, loving your other neighbor? You're making sure that life is not a living hell for them?
Yeah. Well, this is...
You mean hell's a place?
This is just bigger than... It's not that romantic love is not deep and rich and true, but what he is pulling us into, that makes nothing, that has no meaning or no substance without the broader agapic love that he's speaking to at the end.
Absolutely. So I just, and then he goes on, change your words into truths. How about that? And then change that truth into love. And maybe our children's grandchildren and their great-grandchildren, posterity, will tell, I'll be loving you. And then he's going to go into, until the rainbows, ocean covers, the dolphin flies, and then I just love it. As he's saying all that, he's just like, now, ain't that loving you? Like after he gives all of those things, ain't that loving you?
Yeah.
How can I love you more?
But it's a core apologetic for what we began our backdrop, like pre-production of this episode was, where is R&B music? Where is love music without the love of God? Without the influence in our context, source. The case of the church. And really that song ends with the apologetic and analysis of that there is that you will not be able to sing this song. This love song cannot be sung until you embrace the deeper, pure agapic love of God. Amen. Like that's the source of it. Yeah. And it's like it's an admonition, it's a wondering, and it's a warning at the end. Until this is the root. That other part that you love so much, right? Right. That you will be disconnected from that without the source.
You will not understand it. So I just it's just such a beautiful. So I've just been, ruminating, on that gorgeous song for the last, couple days, and it's just like I love. It's my favorite.
Yeah, you're not alone in that.
It shall be played at my wedding.
Yes.
But it's just a beautiful. It's a beautiful song, and I just think about just the beauty, how much more we really need to live into that love of neighbor, love of friends, love romantic, all of the loves, love through truth, through speaking truth, right? As Stevie says in this song as well, but also speaking that truth in love as scripture says too, and just thinking about the beauty of Black love too, and the gift of being able to have seen that between my parents. I'm grateful for that. Yeah. I still seeing that love to this day because it doesn't die, right? Yeah. I'm still seeing my mom's love for my dad still the weight of to that, this day, and so it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. Yeah. It's beautiful.
Well, and also I think that final admonition about the fact that liars cannot love. Right. That love is a product of a capital T truth that overflows from that. And so there's no love in deception and dishonor and distortion. And so anyway, I just think that there's much for us to wrestle with. And I think what creative music and art provides for us is an entry point into this deeper theological conversation for those who wouldn't hear us talk directly about the gospel as articulated through gospel music, which still is needed and matters. That's the Hello, just clearly state that, since people get weird out here all of a sudden. But I think that this is the door that we're able to go through. And the beauty of the world is that because of our creator God, there are so many doors, whether you're studying, oceanography or the environment or the, cosmology or every element of the world bears witness to its creator. But certainly there's something really beautiful about music, the history of music that opens that door. And then we get exactly what Mr. Wonder allowed us to do, was to walk to that apologetic of the real root and source of love.
Just beautiful. Yeah. There's only a few musicians that you can really do that with, where you could literally just go walk through and see all the theology.
Yeah. Well, every generation, I think every generation is gifted with every generation, every culture, everyone is gifted with that person who carries that creative gifting, right? And it changes
it well.
It changes the environment, right? It
Yes.
changes our world, and we so desperately need it. So
We do.
I'm so glad that people sat at the table as we went through
Me
this. I don't know. This
too.
is like a little NPR moment as we analyze a song.
Yeah, I don't know. I just, I love music. I just love it so much.
I do too.
So we're a big music people, even though ourselves, we are not musicians, but
I do like to sing.
We do like to sing. We have our little creative things, and y'all know we did write the lyrics to that, the Getting the Word theme song. I'm just saying. You should know that.
Wrote a song about it, like to hear it. Here we go.
Here we go.
Yeah.
But this was beautiful. It was just nice to just talk about, just the gift of music and what it means and how God just gives us another access point to beauty.
Yeah.
To take in beauty, to see, God's just creativity at work, in humanity.
Yeah.
And hopefully that spurs us on to create, right? In a way that honors God and neighbor.
Yeah. To create, to persevere, to look for the source of the creativity.
Look for the good,
to seek out.
celebrate the good. We need that. And we need that. We need more of that. We need more of that. That's part of a resistance, is creating art, beautiful art, that is transcendent. And I think that lifts us beyond our moment. We need that,
Absolutely.
So may God, raise up more truly
raise
gifted.
up and encourage those who exist to continue, because what you do really does matter.
Yes, absolutely. So thank y'all for taking a seat at the table with us this week, talking about R&B, the evolution, and just the beauty, and really an episode about Stevie Wonder. How about that? All of those. That's really what it's about. Okay. So send us your thoughts, y'all, about this episode. You can send your thoughts to asktruthstable@gmail.com, or you can comment on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, and make sure you subscribe and rate the show on iTunes or your favorite podcast player, or subscribe on our YouTube. And Black women, you can join our Black Women's Facebook discipleship group, where we will have some teachings in the fall of 2025. So you don't want to miss that, actually. There's gonna be a teaching about love, actually, in there, and praying the word, because we need to be praying the word these days, don't we?
We sure need to be praying.
So anyway, so don't miss that. And so thank y'all so much for taking a seat at the table. We'll see you soon. Bye.